Hey guys, it's Licious Kid from ClimaxCombo, and today we have another Leaks of the Week. This week we are just continuing off with Illya, Extra Booster, and Love Live Booster. Illya, Extra Booster did get released this week, so this will be the final week for Illya Extra Booster, while Love Live will be coming out next week on the 22nd. And I already have 5 boxes pre-ordered, so do be expecting a deck profile, box opening, deck profile, etc., when they do arrive. But before we get started, we do start on the 13th this week instead of the 12th because Japan did have a holiday on the 12th, so only 4 days of leaks this week, but what can you do? But so with that out of the way, I shall get started. So first off is this 1045R. She's Master and Magic as per usual. So what she does is she has Clock Encore first of all, and secondly she has Experience 2. If you have Experience 2, she gains Power plus X, where X is the level of the character directly opposite of this card, multiplied by 1,000. I think this card is very solid. I think it's really good because first of all, she has Clock Encore. I believe this is the only Clock Encore card, costless Clock Encore in the series. So just the fact that she does have Clock Encore and the fact that she's costless makes her already playable. And she's also she has respectable power because if she's fighting a level 0, she's only 4-5, but at that point she can climb over most level 0s in the game. Level 1 she becomes a 5-5, which is good. She hits vanilla power. At level 2 she's 6-5, which isn't too impressive, and at level 3 she's 7-5, which isn't too impressive, but if you do a 3k backup on her if she's fighting a level 3, then she does hit 10-5 before assist, and that makes it possible that she might be able to kill a couple level 3s if your opponent is not wary or is just overconfident or just not expecting that a level 1 will be able to kill the level 3 via backing up. So I think she hits the right numbers, and she has Clock Encore, and just the fact that she has Clock Encore and she's a 5-5 when she's fighting a level 1, I think makes her already super playable, and it just becomes that much better if she's fighting a level 2 or level 3. So in general, I think Mew is a very, very, very solid card. I would dare say almost staple. Maybe. I'm not an Illya player, but I do think this card is very good. Let's go on. Level 3 Maki. Just like in the last video, I'm not going to go over the level 3s because I already have a video dedicated to the leaked level 3s for Love Live, and this Maki is no exception. So if you do want to see my thoughts on the level 3 Maki, you can click the other video. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. But to summarize, don't run it. Next up is this other Maki. It's a 004K. She's R. She's music. What she does is when she's played from hand to stage, place the top 2 cards of your deck to the waiting room. If there are any climaxes amongst those cards, put this card to rest. Maki is a fairly solid card. First of all, she's a 004K, so her being an oversized level 0, she must have a demerit of some form, and hers is you mill top 2. If there's a climax amongst those, she goes to rest. Honestly, not that bad, because when you play her at level 0, you have the lowest chance of milling a climax when you do play her. So most of the time, she won't go to rest. But even if you do mill a climax, it's not that big of a deal because she just goes to rest. She's not like a couple other cards, like I think in Bakemono the Hachikuchi goes back to deck, and I think there's like a Senjo that you have to discard. I don't know, some of them are really bad. However, this Maki is not that bad because all you do is she just goes to rest, and her being a 4k body at level 0, usually your opponent have to suicide into it, and if they do suicide into it, then you 1-for-1, so it's all not that bad. And sometimes if they can't kill it, then next turn you can just attack with her. So her being big body usually means she will 1-for-1 or that she will live, and so she can attack next turn. Also, later into the game, she can act like a poor brainstorm because she's a costless mill 2 on play, no matter what. So if you really do need that extra brainstorm, then you can just play this Maki, and you should be good to go. And lastly, she is blue, and blue is debatably Love Live's weakest color, but they do still have some good cards in it. However, their level 0s in blue is not that great. So since she's a blue level 0, it will be easier to splash blue into the Love Live decks now because now blue has a decent beater. And yeah, So for all those reasons, I do think Maki's a very solid card. So awesome. Next up, 2/1 AK common Maki. She's music as per usual. What she does is she's a standard climax phase. Change climax phase. Pay 2, discard a card. If you do, change into this level 3 Maki. Like I said, I think this level 3 Maki sucks, so I don't plan on changing into it anytime soon. It's kind of weird how the Snow Halation Maki changes into Happy Maker Maki. Shouldn't it be the Kira Kira sensation? I don't know. Oh well. Let's go on. Next up is this event. It's a 1/0 blue event uncommon. What this card does is when you play this event, you place the top card of your deck to your clock. If that character is a Maki, then you can draw up to 3 cards, discard 1 card from your hand, and then choose one of your characters and gets plus 2k until the end of the turn. As you can see, this is dedicated for a Maki waifu deck. But if you are running a Maki waifu deck, I highly advise running this card because if this effect goes off, like let's say you play it, you do hit a Maki into your clock, you get quite a lot of benefits out of it because you draw 3 cards and then you discard a card. So in total, you do plus 1 card because you gain a net total of 1 card. And lastly, you give a character plus 2k. So you boost a character plus 2k for clocking yourself 1 damage. So a lot of benefits if you do hit this card. It's unfortunate that you have to hit a Maki. If you could hit a music character, I think this card would be pretty ridiculous, but unfortunately you only have to hit Makis. So only for Maki waifu decks, but a very good one if you do plan to run the Maki waifu deck. As a Maki waifu deck, can it be legit? Possibly, not really. I don't think so. She has a spammable brainstorm. She has an OK 1/0, I guess, in the new School Idol Fest. In the extra booster, they have the 1/0 Maki. Level 2, you can play the level 3 Maki that comes out early, and at level 3, I guess you do have a healer. So maybe it can be possible. I don't think it'll be the strongest waifu deck for Love Live, but still quite plausible. Only problem is you still run 8 climaxes in your waifu deck, and if you're running the blue backup, 1/1 3/5 backup, and if you're running this event along with it, you have a decently high chance of hitting a non-Maki character, but still, I do advise running it because a lot of benefits do come out of it if you do hit. So, yeah. On to Tuesday, is this 001k common Rin. She's gem. What she does is when your other characters are reversed in battle, choose one of your characters against plus 1000 power until the end of this turn. And it has a startup of you could pay 1, choose a character with Illya in its name, and gains a falling ability until the end of the turn. When this card is reversed and the level of this card battling opponent is equal or lower than the level of this card, you may place that character to reverse. So essentially, you pay 1 and you give an Illya suicide. So if you give a level 1 Illya this ability, then she could suicide of level 1s or lower. And if you choose to target a level 3 Illya, then she can suicide into level 3s and lower. Well, first of all, her first effect is okay. It's not the greatest. It's quite common nowadays, so it's not bad. So the real question, or the real value of this card comes from the second ability. And honestly, the second ability is pretty meh. Not that good because there's not that many good Illya cards. She has a lot of good utility level 0s, but there's no real benefit to giving a level 0 Illya the suicide ability, especially when you're paying 1 for it. At level 1, a lot of the level 1 cards are focused around Miyu, so not that great. And at level 2, if you're running the Kaleidoscope Illya build, you're not going to have any level 2s. And then at level 3, it doesn't really matter with the Kaleidoscope build because your goal is not to kill characters, your goal is to burn them with the combo. But if you are running the new Illya Kudo build, then this card may have its benefits because of the fact that you can give the new level 3 Illya this suicide ability. Oops. You can give new level 3 Illya the suicide ability, and for this Illya to get her climax combo off, she must reverse an opponent's character. And Illya decks are pretty low power, so in certain matchups it may be difficult to accomplish her double attacking. However, if you choose to run this Rin, she can give the level 3 Illya suicide, so it doesn't matter what she's fighting because she's always going to successfully reverse it. and then you can double attack and then go have a good time from there. Of course, this can change if your opponent's running cards that can't be reversed, or if they're running if they're running +1 level assists, but usually that doesn't happen. So most of the time, if you use this Rin in conjunction with the new level 3 Illya, you can guarantee her climax combo off because she will become a level 3 Suicider. So that I think is the biggest merit to this card. So perhaps it can be playable just for that very reason. Maybe if your local is consisted of a lot of players that run high power decks, then maybe you're sick or tired of that high power crap and you just want to kill them. So you could maybe run one of this Rin. If you're gonna run this Rin, I advise only running 1 or 2 of this. I don't advise running more than 2 of this Rin. And only if you're running the Illya Kudo build. Honestly, if you're running the Kaleidoscope build, I don't think you really care, because in the Kaleidoscope build, you just try to get them to level 3 and then burn them and try to win. So, okay, it could have its uses at times. And her first effect is not bad either. So, interesting card. Totally player's choice. It could be a nice little tech card if your deck has space and you're running the Illya Kudo build, then perhaps a couple of these will do the job. Next up is this 2/2 Luvia. She's 8k common, gem, and lady. She has experience 5. If you have experience 5, she has +15, so she's a 9/5, and she has clock encore. This Luvia, not that great to be honest, because first of all, she's not magic, so no synergy. Second of all, she's if you're running the new Kaleidoscope build, you don't want to run level 2, so she's like not even considered in the Kaleidoscope build. And if you're running the new Illya Kudo build, then your level 2 game is consisted of level 3 Kudo. So no point in this card in any build, so don't run it. Next up is the level 3 Umi, the Happy Maker one. Once again, if you would like to see my thoughts on this, you can click on the other video. Next up is this 2/1/5k R Umi. She's music. What she does is, when this card declares an attack, choose one of your other characters. It gets +1500 power until the end of the turn. And her other effect is, when she's played from hand to stage, you can discard a card. If you do, choose one music character from your waiting room and return it to your hand. Honestly, I think this Umi is pretty bad, because first of all, she's a 2/1/5k. Extremely low powered for level 2, and especially because she costs 1, it makes her all that much worse. And her first ability requires her to attack. If you put her in the front row and she's sitting at 5k, when she attacks, she probably can't even reverse what she's fighting. So usually she'll probably be forced to side, and that already sucks. Like, come on, she costed 1 and she's level 2 and she's forced to side. She can't even kill most level 1s. So that already sucks. And all you get is a +1500 boost to another character. She can't even pump herself, so you boost another character +15, and whoopie-doo, you paid 1 cost for that. You're better off playing a 2k1 or heck even a 1k1 soul. So right off the bat, she's too low power, and next turn she's gonna die because she's only a 5k base. Even if you use Love Live's strongest backup, which is a 1/1 event backup, she'll only be 8/5 before assist, and that's still pretty low power for a level 2. Most level 1s can climb over that anyway, so so she's too weak to survive more than 1 turn, and you're not going to pay 1 just for 1500 for 1 turn. And her second effect, honestly, it's not worth it. If you want to discard, like, you could use a Searcher. You could pay 1, discard Searcher. You could use that instead. Her second effect is not worth it either for her low power and her 1 cost. So, and her first effect is pretty bad. So I don't advise running this Umi at all. Next up, we have this 1/4k R Umi. She's music, as per usual. Her first effect is she's a level assist in front only for Umis. Her second effect is you can pay 2, rest this card. If you do, choose 1 music character, add it to your hand. This card is not that bad, to be honest. I think it's pretty good for, of course, the Umi waifu build. If you're not running the waifu build, don't consider this card at all. But for the waifu build, this card is going to be pretty staple because, as you saw from the level 3, you need to have a full field of Umis to get her first condition off. And if you do get to play her, if you do successfully play her at level 2, you get a lot of benefits from it. So having this Umi helps a lot because Umi did not have a level assist before. Her best assist was definitely the 1-0 Brainstorm, which is very good. However, giving the Umi waifu build an option to a level assist is actually quite nice of them to do. And also, her second effect is pretty good because you can use it at any time during the game since it is a startup. You can pay to place her to rest and then salvage a music character. Not bad at all. So definitely a staple in the Umi waifu build. And yeah, not bad at all. Next up is this 2-1 event uncommon. You cannot play this card from your hand if you do not control a character with Umi in its name. And then what it actually does is choose one of your opponent's cost 1 or lower characters and send it to the waiting room. Of course, the ideal targets is going to be your opponent's back row since most decks can't deal with back row, and Love Live doesn't have much back row killers. So now we have an event that does so. It's supposed to be for the Umi waifu decks because you need to have an Umi on your field to play this card. However, there's already a really good assist in Love Live, the 1-0 Brainstorm Umi, and once you play that, it usually lasts for the entire game. So in a normal deck, you can actually pull this off because you'll always have the Brainstorm in the back, meaning you'll always have an Umi on the field to use this event. So it's actually kind of usable in the standard builds, but I don't advise really running it because you only kill a cost 1 or lower character in your opponent's back row. Not really worth it unless your opponent's deck is really dependent on their back row, something like Angel Beats. But most decks aren't like that dependent on their back row, and I don't think it really warrants a spot in your deck just to kill off your opponent's back row. And of course, there's no side decking in Weiss, so you can't side deck it. But for a waifu deck, you could run 1 or 2, since why not? But for a normal build, it's actually kind of playable, but I don't advise running it. I don't think it's good enough. And that's it for Wednesday, actually. On to Thursday is this 1045R Illya, Master and Magic. What she does is when you play the Climax the Other Me, which is the pants here, and this card is in your front row, search your deck for up to 1 the Other Illya Kuro, and place it onto any board on your stage, then shuffle your deck. Of course, the other Illya Kuro is this Kuro right here. It's a 1175R magic and weapon. What she does is when this card declares an attack and you have 2 or fewer stock, send this card to the waiting room. And lastly, once again, the pants is a Climax common. First of all, I would like to mention that this Climax, the Other Me, is the same Climax used for the level 3 Illya that we saw a couple weeks ago that works in conjunction with the level 3 Kuro. Oh, cool. I didn't notice the alternate art. That's really cool. I really like alternate art. I think it's awesome and adds a lot more flavor to the deck. But whatever, that's just me rambling. So first of all, because this card combos with the level 3 Illya Kuro, I think that already boosts up this combo's playability by a lot because the new Illya Kuro combo is actually quite solid. It seems really good. So if you're running the Illya Kuro combo, you're gonna run 4 pants, and if you're gonna run 4 pants, why not splash in this other Illya combo? Because this Illya combo is not bad at all. Because if you do successfully get off the Illya combo, you actually get a pretty good benefits out of it. You get to play a 1/1 for free from your deck. The Kuro herself is not bad. She's an oversized level 1, so she must have a demerit. And hers is if you attack and if you have 2 or fewer stocks, send her to the waiting room. Not too hard to play around, so long as if you have 1 stock at the beginning of your attack phase, then her downside is pretty much gone because you just attack with the other 2 characters first, and if you attack with the other 2 first and then you attack with Kuro last, you'll have 3 stock, and then her downside is pretty much gone. So her downside isn't too bad, but and yeah, so because of that, I think this combo is quite playable because, like I said, the pants is really good. The pants already has a really good combo, and you get pretty good benefits out of it if you do manage to pull off this combo at level 1. The only problem is that if you draw into the Kuros, then it kind of sucks because you can't really shuffle them back. And it's not like Magic where in your opening hand, if you decide to mulligan, they go back to your deck. In this game, they go back to the waiting room. So once you draw into the Kuros, then they're pretty much stuck there, or you have to discard them or clock them, what have you. But still, I think it's playable just because of the fact that it does combo with the pants. Will it be mandatory or super good? who knows? We'll see. I'm not too sure myself, but I do think it is quite playable, and I think it's pretty cool. So perhaps you could give it a try. Tell me how it goes. But I do think it's pretty playable, and I do think it's pretty cool and good. So let us go on. Next up is the Eddie. Like I said, I've talked about this Eddie, and nothing has changed about it. But so in general, still a very solid card. Probably the best double R in the series or the best double R in this set in my opinion. Next up, 2175R Eddie, Kita Sensation. She's music. What she does is when she's played from hand to stage, she gets plus 15 and 100 power until the end of the turn, so she'll be a 9k. And she combos with the plus 2 soul. When she attacks with the plus 2 soul, choose one music character in your waiting room, place it to your stock, and this card gains plus 3k until the end of the turn. So when you play her, she's a 9k, and if you do climax combo the same turn you play her, she'll be, let me think, 9k plus 3k, she'll be 12k before assist, which means she'll probably kill most things, if not all. She'll probably kill most characters on the field, which is not bad. However, don't really advise running this because first of all, she combos with the plus 2 soul, and the plus 2 soul climax isn't that great. It's pretty hit or miss. So first of all, her comboing the plus 2 soul makes the viability of this card go down, in my opinion. And even if you do get this combo off, all you get is the stock that you use to play for this card, and she gets plus 3k for the turn. Not enough benefits. You don't get enough from this climax combo to warrant the fact that you're running a pretty crappy level 2 and you're running a plus 2 soul trick climax. So don't really advise running this Eddie. For an Eddie waifu deck, I guess you can try it since there's not that many good level 2 Eddies. The other level 2 Eddie that comes to the top of my mind is the 2-2 from the extra booster. You could probably I think you should run that instead of this Eddie. However, you know, it is a waifu deck, so you can run whatever you'd like. Or you could choose to run the 2 to 3 change Eddie from the School Idol Festival build deck. From the School Idol Festival booster. So I don't really advise running this card even in a waifu deck because I do think the 2-2 is better. But yeah, I just don't really like this combo, to be honest. Next up is this Eddie. It's a 0/0/1500 uncommon. She's music and sports. What she does is your other characters with Eddie in their name gets plus 500, and it has another effect of this ability can only be activated once per turn. When you use a startup, choose one of your characters. It gets plus 500 until the end of the turn. So this card is pretty much like Wedding Dress Miku, which is a really good card. That card is ridiculously overpriced. I think it's like 10 bucks right now. Jesus. But anyways, this Eddie is pretty much just like that card, except it only works for Eddies, which is unfortunate. If this was your other music characters get plus 500 and she had the second effect, this card would be amazing, but unfortunate, it only works for Eddies. But so this is obviously targeted for Eddie fan decks, and a very good card. If you're running an Eddie waifu deck, I highly advise running 4 of these because it's just super good. So yeah, man, imagine if this was music. Anyways, let's go on to Friday. Friday, there are no Illya leaks because, as per usual, what Bushiroad did was just reveal a couple Illya cards that have already been released. So only Love Live for Friday. And first off is a 3/2 10k ring, double R. Once again, you can watch the other video for my thoughts on this ring. Next up is a 0/0/1500R music, Rin. This ability can only be activated once per turn. When you use a startup ability, choose one of your characters. It gets plus 500 until the end of this turn. And it has a pay 1 brainstorm. You could pay 1, rest her, mill 4 for every climax you hit. Search your deck for a music character and add it to your hand. This card is really good. However, it's overshadowed by the Umi from the first booster. The Umi is a 500 global and is a plus brainstorm. So there's no real point to running this Rin because she only gives 500 when you use a startup. And she's a plus brainstorm as well. So why not have a global 500 and a plus brainstorm? So no real point to this Rin. If that Umi didn't exist, then I think this Rin would be really good. But unfortunately, not unfortunately, but Umi's better. So no real point to this Rin. It's exactly the same as the Magician Miku in Project Diva F second, and that card is even more ridiculously overpriced. I think that's a $20 double R, And yeah, if that card wasn't $20, I would consider making Project Diva. But unfortunately, that card is staple, and I don't really want to spend $20 on a Brainstormer. So yeah, unfortunate. If Diva ever goes down in price, then I might make Diva in the future. But as of right now, the cards are just too expensive to make. But anyway, sorry, that's just me going off topic. Anyways, this Rin is really good for. It's pretty much only going to be used for Rin waifu decks because, like I said, no point when Umi's around. So unfortunate. If Umi does ever get hit, like if Love Live becomes too strong one day, and if Umi gets hit on a choice, then perhaps everyone will be running to this Rin, and the price will jump. But as of right now, no point. But maybe in the future, if Love Live becomes too powerful, because I do expect Love Live to get more boosters in the future. So perhaps one day Bushiroad will slip, and Love Live will become too powerful, and Umi gets hit to the choice. Then Rin will be there for us to use. But for now, no point. Next up is 1165 Rin. She's music. During your opponent's turn, for every other Rin character you control, she gets plus 500. So before assist, if you have full field of Rin, she's a 1185, which is not bad at all. So obviously only for Rin decks, and it can actually be quite possible because your back row will probably consist of one of this Rin and probably an assist of some form, and your front row could consist of these 1/1s, and they have another good 1/0 in the form of the 1045 in the School Idol Festival booster. That card is actually not bad. So with her and the 1045, you could actually have a pretty solid level 1 lineup, and they actually have a 1/1 2K backup. For level 2, not too sure what you're gonna do with the Rins. Let me think. No, I don't think there's any good level 2 Rins. And for level 3, all you got is this card, so don't really see a Rin waifu deck happening anytime soon, but we'll see. Maybe in the future, who knows. But lastly is this awesome card. It's a 2/1 backup. What it does is, it's a backup, so when you use it, you choose one of your characters with Rins in its name and place it to the waiting room. If you do, return the top card of your clock to your hand and put this card into memory. So essentially, it is exactly like Sayaka's Wish heal event from Madoka, except this is only for Rin. And as of right now, this card is not very good because in the standard builds, there's not a lot of very good Rin cards. There's no like really staple Rin card in the standard Love Live builds right now. So if you're not running any Rins, this card has no potential use. Of course, if you're running a Rin fan deck, this card becomes amazing because it's a heal backup. But it's nice that Love Live does have this card because, like I said, I do expect Love Live to get more boosters in the future because Love Live is Bushiroad's child. So, if more boosters come out, and perhaps if Rin gets better cards, like let's say they get a really good level 3 or they get a lot of good level 1s, who knows? This card has a lot of potential because with every new booster that Bushiroad releases, if they release good Rin cards, the playability of this card just goes up. So having a couple of these wouldn't be too bad because, one day when Rin gets that really good card, then this card will be super awesome. As of right now, like I said, not good because no real good Rin cards, but in the future, we never know. This card, if Rin becomes ridiculous, then this card will become ridiculous, and then maybe Love Live will really have to get hit. But just keep your eye out for this card. And that is all for this week. Like I said, only 4 days, so 28 minutes. That's probably the shortest Leaks of the Weeks we have in a while. But yeah, only 4 days, and a lot of the level 3s I jumped over because there's already another video for those, so that's why. But I guess a little summary. Miyu's awesome. I'm sorry, Maki, you're not good. Pretty good card. No. Waifu build. Might be potentially good with the new Illya. No. Viable for waifu. No. Yes. No. Yeah, I think it's cool. Yes, please. No. If only it was music, but no. Only for Eddie waifu deck. And yeah, I think Rin's cool. Unfortunately, not needed. No. And potential. So yeah, that is all for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, leave any questions or comments in the comment section below. And until next time.